Okay, hello everybody and welcome to this IGCC course. This course is delivered on IG Tricks. So let's look at IGCC. What does it mean? If you look at the monitor here, you can see that IGCC stands for International General Certificate of Secondary Education. And they're doing ESL, which means English as a Second Language. As you know, you're doing the extended paper or the extended tier, which has three components. Paper 2, reading and writing, and the code is 0510, variants 21, 22, and 23. Then this is paper 4, which is listening, and the code is 0510, variants 41, 42, and 43. Then you have the oral assessment, which is paper 5, or sometimes known as speaking, and the code is 0510, 05. This could be this code or 0511, and that means that will be counted for your final grade. If it is 05, it means it's not counted in your final grade. Anyway, let's look closely or deeply into the components of paper 2, which is our focus for today. Paper 2, as you can see, the exam is allotted 2 hours, and its weight in your grade is almost 70%. The total grade of this paper is 90 points or marks, and it has 7 exercises. Exercise 1, reading comprehension, and this is out of 9. Exercise 2, reading comprehension 2, and this is out of 15. Exercise 3, which is form filling or information transfer, and this is out of 8. Then you have note-taking or note-making sometimes, and this is out of 9. And then you have the summary task, summary making, out of 11. Then writing 1 and writing 2, and writing 1 is always the informal one that requires you to write an email or a letter to a friend or someone you know, and this is out of 19. And writing 2, this is the formal task where you are supposed to write an article. This article could be opinion or argument or any other kind of articles, but these are the most common ones, to be an opinion one or an argumentative one, and this is out of 19. So all these exercises will add up to 90 points, which form the greatest weight of your grade, 70%. Then the rest 30% will be devoted to listening or listening and speaking together. Let's look closely at this one, paper 2, for example here. This is an example of paper 2, as you can see. You look at the front page here. This is University of Cambridge International Examinations, International General Certificate of Secondary Education. And here you have your candidate name and the candidate center number here and your candidate number here. And here a piece of advice to you on what to do, what kind of pens you use, and so on. Then let's look at exercise 1. The paper is set in a way that you have the questions on the right side and the text on the left side. So you look at the text here, and then you're supposed to have this part on the opposite page right away. So how to go about these questions and these exercises? The general exam tip and strategy is to look at the question, read it well, and you can highlight the keywords, and then you scan the text to find out the relevant information. Once you find it, you write it here on the space given here, and you write direct short answers, because this is reading, not writing. So the examiner here focuses on your ability to read and find information in a given text. For example, where exactly is the Great Barrier Reef? If you want to answer this question, so the keyword is where here, as you can see, right? This is where, okay? And then you are looking for the Great Barrier Reef. If you go back to the text here, you read through and to find where it is. So go over the text here, then you can find where it is. Yes, you got it. So it lies here, some 60 kilometers off the eastern coast of Australia. right? So this is the correct answer here. So you can say 60 kilometers of the eastern coast of Australia. This is always the case. So you are supposed to copy this in the space given here. So this is the general tip. So if you want to deal with IT questions for reading paper, the most important thing is to go over the question, read it well, highlight the keywords, and then skim scan the text. Skim read it or scan read it to find the relevant information. Once you find it, you copy the information here. You start at the very beginning of the line here so as to have enough space to write whatever your answers or responses are. Okay, this is to go on for the first paper, for the first exercise. As you can see, if you go to exercise 2 here, you do the same, you follow the same procedures, but here you have some more advice. As you can see here, you can see there is a chart. All right, the chart usually has some kind of information. You should be able to read the chart and figure out the information written here clearly. So you have to examine the Y and X and see what information is given. And relevant to this chart, there is a question. Okay, like here, for example, it says, according to the graph here, how does the price of birds' nests in 2008 compare to that of 1968? So in this case, you need to examine it carefully here. And look, this is 2008 here, and this is 1968 here. So if you examine it carefully, if you read it well, you can see that here it was almost 2000, but here it was what, almost 4000. So as you can see, the prices increased, and this is almost double the price, right, from 2000 to 4000. So a good answer to this could be that the price has increased, or it has doubled, or it is twice as much. So this is how to find the comparison. Or at least to say in 1968 it was 2000 and in 2008 it was 4000. But this is rather long answer, but better to say it was twice as much, or it has doubled, or it was 50% less, okay, in 1968. In addition to that, there is also a question at the bottom here, the last question in exercise 2, which requires you to find 4 details, okay? So in this case, I would advise you to read the last question, okay, together with the first question here. So once you read question A, you jump to question J here to find what the details are required here. What details are required? So apart from the details of the nest building, yes. What else do we learn about the birds? Give 4 details. Usually this question requires 4 details about a specific idea or theme or item in the text. So to save time and effort, I would advise you to read it as soon as you read question A. And while reading through, you have 2 things. You have the question you're working on here, okay? This is your focus, and at the same time, you have this in the background. So whenever you come across any piece of information relevant to this, you can highlight it. So by the end of the text, you can easily write down your answers. Don't keep it to the last of your procedure or development with the text. No, don't keep it last. The best way is to read it as soon as you read question A. All right? So these are 2 important, tips that you should adopt when you do exercise 2. If you go for exercise 3, okay, this is information transfer or form filling. This, you have to look at the form first. Why? Read it, go through it, go over it quickly to find what information you have to find. Usually, the first part requires personal data or personal information, so you can easily find the name, the address, the age, the phone number, or contact details. And then you go for more information you have to fill in here. The last section here, it requires you to write a sentence between 12 to 20 words about a specific item as well, or theme in the text. Be careful when you do this, because you're going to write this as if you are the person here. That's why it always says here, at the end, imagine you are, and that gives you the name of the person. And based on that, you have to fill in the form on the opposite page using the information above. So everything you fill out is based on the text here. Nothing of your own, nothing of your general knowledge. And remember very well, you are the person. So you have to write the sentence in the first person. I, for example, or we, or my, or our. So this is how you write this. Your sentence will be assessed as follows. We need a correct sentence. Okay, beginning capital letter and ending in a full stop, and this sentence should be written first person and should be within the word limit, no fewer than 12 and no more than 20. If you have any problem with the word number, that means you get to 0. However, this is a sentence and a very simple task, okay, so you should get the 2 points. They are dear points, so don't lose them. And also it should be free from any error, grammatical, structural, spelling, etc., punctuation. So pay attention to the way you write a fully correct sentence. This way you can guarantee good 8 points or marks that will help you get a star, hopefully. So, and also in addition to that, you have to pay attention to the form itself here, because within the form you are given some directions and instructions always contained in brackets here. For example, please tick the appropriate box here. So make sure that you tick it, don't circle, don't underline. So because this is part of the skill tested here, how far you can follow instructions in brackets. So here, please tick, okay, and here, please delete. And be careful about delete here. When you delete, it says here, if you ate in the restaurant, did you reserve a table? Please delete. So once you reserve the table, so it means that you need to delete no. But if you didn't eat, okay, and you didn't reserve a table, so you delete yes. So be careful with how to use please delete. You delete the unwanted answer, okay? And sometimes circle, okay, there is another tick here, so it depends. And here you have to put them in order, so you have to be careful understanding the instructions in brackets. This is another one for delete as well, yes or no. So this is such general tips and tactics for exercise 3. Then exercise 4 here, this would be note taking. This is very simple in a exercise because you're supposed to read and then go over the question here to find some headlines given. And based on the headlines, you have to find the relevant information and you have to write brief notes here usually. Don't write too much, don't write too long sentences, just notes between say 3, 4, 5, 6 words maybe maximum, okay? Don't write too much here. We don't want sentences, we just want notes. As you can see here, using television remote control. So these are just 4 words. So don't write too much. And this is just an example, so you can follow with the rest here. Usually the note-taking exercise is quite easy, so you can easily do it. The more challenging one will be the summary task here, because the summary, okay, would be something like double the note-taking activity. Why? Because in note-taking activity you just have the notes, but here you have the notes and then how you transfer this into your own words and express the same ideas. So you are to find the notes first and then express them in your own words. In order to do this question well, you need to look at the question brought here. So read the following article about a climb to the top of Southeast Asia's highest mountain. Of course you know it. And write a summary of the main difficulties. So remember, this is main difficulties. This is one important thing. And that the tourist faced during. So it's not before or after the climb. So this is very important to notice. The main difficulties, the main problems, the issues they have while they climb the mountain. While, so during. And then the second theme here is the rewards when they reach the top. The rewards when they reach them. We have 2 things here. So we have difficulties and main difficulties, and we have rewards. So you have to focus on these 2 here while reading through. You'll find a lot here, And in order to do this question well, your direct answer to this question would be something like a topic sentence for your paragraph, because according to writing and writing techniques in English, you know you need a topic sentence for each paragraph. So that means you need to find a topic sentence. Okay, for example, here I can say that tourists may have some problems, because I want to use my own words. This is what the examiner is looking for. Okay, so the main problems or the main difficulties, so I changed difficulties, and then they will be awarded instead of the words. So this is how to go about it. And so you read here and find there is a lot to find here. If you go over here, you can find a lot. I'll give you this as an exercise. So the most important thing to directly answer this one in very simple sentence, to act as your topic sentence, then write all the relevant information in your own words. Remember, you have to use linking words. Usually if there is one theme, the linking words will always be addition. So like besides, moreover, and also to, okay, and so on. But if there are two or more, you have to find the relationship between the two themes. Like here, yes, they have difficulties, but at the end there are words. So in this case, the transition from the first theme to the second will be a contrast linking word, like however, like nonetheless, okay, like on the other hand, and so on. So for good summaries, remember, we need a topic sentence, we need the relevant details, and at least there must be something like 6, no less. And we need linking words, and remember, you need to use your own words. Remember very well as well that no need to give your opinion. We're not asking for opinion here. Never include your opinion, or never include something that does not belong to the question. Don't add any extra information. So this way we have at least 5 different exercises in paper 2 with the exam tips and the strategies. I would like you to do these 5 exercises and then compare your answers to the mark scheme, which I'll show here. Just after you finish, you can have a look at them. For example, let me go to this one here. Yes. Next screen here. So once you're done, you can have a look at this. Okay, these will always be the answer. So these are the answers for exercise 1. This is for exercise 2. Then exercise 3 here. Exercise 4, Notetaking. And then exercise 5 here. Of course, these are just the notes for exercise 5, which we have to develop into a paragraph using your own words as much as you can, using linking words as well, and starting with the topic sentence. Okay, so do this, and my best wishes for all of you. This was just an introduction. We have a lot to deal with in other episodes. Thank you very much, and wish you all the best. Goodbye.